You were born from the void, but it is coming to get you. The void must be won. You cannot escape from it.
So the iOS marketplace is not just about candies and colors and happiness, and that's something Kevin Cerdà is showing us with Nihilumbra, right?
Yes, indeed. Actually, we wanted to make a difference and do something a little bit darker than what you usually find on the Apple Store, and also harder for the player.
So what is Nihilumbra about?
Nihilumbra is a philosophic game about... Actually, the game is about solving puzzles, painting with colors, changing the physics of the world, using different colors. But it also explains a story about a character who is nothing at all. He appears from the void, from the infinite emptiness, and he starts to walking around the world and wanting to become someone in the end. So he has to gather experience and improve and try to escape his inevitable fate, which is being absorbed again by the void. So as you can see, it's a pretty dark setup for an iOS game.
Is that a message also about someone's life, or maybe your experience as a developer?
Yeah, indeed. It's their own experience. Because when we wanted to make a first game for a company, Nihilumbra is our first professional project. So we were in a similar situation. We were no one, we were starting out of nowhere, and we wanted to become someone in the video game industry. So we wanted to start working in a project and start traveling through the process of doing a game, gathering experience, learning, and we always did our best, even when we didn't know if we were going to succeed or not in the end. We always have the failure behind us, like the main character has the void. For us it was failure. It was not finishing the project, or maybe finishing the project, releasing it, and seeing that no one cared. So it's always a struggle. You try to do the best game you can, even when you don't know if you're going to succeed or not.
And then the color started to show up, and then you have some success. What about the gameplay, the actual gameplay mechanics? How do you play Nihilumbra?
Well, at the first sight, it could seem like a typical platformer. So it's a side-scroller. You control your character from left to right, and you have to progress through different levels by walking and jumping, walking and jumping, walking and jumping. But then we add this interesting color mechanic, which allows you to change the physics of the background. You can paint, for example, with blue on the ground to make it slippery. You can paint with green on the walls or whatever to make the surfaces bouncy. And then you can use it to reach higher places, or to bounce bullets into enemies, or to make an enemy. We can make an enemy slip to the abyss with blue. We also have brown to make the surface sticky, red to make them hot, or yellow to make them like an electric conductor. I mean, there's a lot of colors, and all of them interact between themselves. So it's like a platformer where the levels are not finished when you arrive. You have to finish them with painting, and then you can complete them.
And then you paint by using your fingers or a mouse, or how do you do that?
Well, we wanted to make a game for iOS, but we wanted to port it to PC later. So when I designed the game in the very beginning, I tried to find a mechanic that could be played in both devices. On iOS, it's really cool because you can use the touching interface to paint with your own fingers. But it was really easy to port that into the mouse. So in PC, you have like a cursor and you can move it and use it to choose where you want to paint. Something really natural.
But it was more successful on iOS than on Steam, I've heard?
Yeah, we could say so. Actually, it's easy if you think about the games that you usually find on iOS and the games you usually find on PC. When we appeared on iOS, we were really, really original, really different. It was something really fresh. You were always playing games about people, I don't know, on farms or on circus or colorful places. Everything is happy. You always get 3 stars at the end of every level. And Nihilumbra was just the opposite. It was dark, it was tough, it explained a story about philosophy, and it doesn't give you 3 stars when you finish the levels. It actually tries to punish you every time you fail. And I think that this difference made the game more interesting to the people. So people really was thankful to see a different game. But when we ported the game to PC, we made an extended version, an improved version with lots of new features and stuff, but it's not that different on PC. I mean, you have other indie titles which are dark as well. You can compare it with Limbo, or you can compare it with whatever you want, and the level is higher. So for us, it was more difficult to stand up from the rest on PC than iOS.
And then we have it on iOS, we have it on Linux, I think, and
PC, Mac, and Linux, yes.
and then you're porting into the Wii U. I guess it's a logical step given the touch controls and...
Indeed, yeah. Wii U is like the most natural platform. It's even better than the platform that was designed for originally, because you have the touching interface to paint with your fingers, like in iOS, but you also have the buttons to play with the controllers. So I mean, it's really cool to play on the couch with a controller on the TV, and the only way to play like this Nihilumbra is with Wii U, because on PC we need the keyboard and the mouse to implement all these controls. And yeah, actually people really are liking the PC version as well, but I think that people are going to like the Wii U version too, because it has all the technical improvements that we did for the PC version. It has the touching interface from the iOS. I mean, it's the most completed version ever.
And then you also have it allows for multiplayer.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, we have a multiplayer mode on the Wii U version when one player can control the main character and the other player can paint. Actually, it was something that we saw that people did on the iOS version. When I lent the iPad to my friends so they could play the game, one of them was playing and the other ones were like, do this, paint here. And they were like trying to grasp the screen and painting at the same time. And I thought, hey, that's like a multiplayer mode. But with the Wii U version, we could make it possible. So what we did was to split the control, and it's really funny to play like that, because you can decide if you want to help your partner or if you want to sabotage him directly.
So PC versions and the iOS version is already out, but what about the Wii U version? It's going to be out soonish?
Well, the versions that we are working right now are the Wii U version and the Android version as well. The Wii U version is finished. I mean, it's already working and we can beat the game from beginning to end, but there's just one bug. It's a technical issue that we need to solve before releasing the game on Wii U.
You can paint it green or something?
No, it's a problem with sound. Okay. I mean, sometimes when you finish a level, you hear a really annoying sound and you have to turn off the console before you keep playing. It's really annoying. It's something that needs to be fixed. The problem is that it's not in our code. It's in the engine that we're using. So we really need an update of that engine to be able to release the game. Right now we have this problem, and the only thing that we can do is wait until they fix it. So it's impossible to know a date for certain, because it's not in our hands.
Okay. But that's not the only project. You have Beautifun Games. I've heard something about Megamagic. I have a pretty cool description you gave us, which is it's a mixture between Command and Conquer, Streets of Rage, the classic Zeldas, and Pokemon. How can that be a playable game?
Yeah, and it's a really weird combination if you think about it. But those are not games that I combined to make Megamagic. Actually, we designed one mechanic. It's not these four mechanics like all together. It's one mechanic, but when I tried to describe it, I found that it's just in between of Zelda, Command and Conquer, Streets of Rage, and Pokemon. It has a little bit of all of them. And I could explain you with detail why, but not yet. Unfortunately, we don't want to make anything public until the game is ready to be shown and it's pretty. We've been working on it a lot of time, and technically, we've made a lot of improvements. We have a lot of editors to create content because it's going to be a really big game, and it's going to be on PC directly. So I mean, we are trying to do our best here. I mean, it's really ambitious. But we still need to work on art, because our artists were busy with Nihilumbra and they started with Megamagic not too long ago. So there's still a lot of work to do on art. When the game is beautiful, when it looks gorgeous,
or beautifun
enough, we will start showing it. But right now, all that I can see is that it's an original mechanic, which is in between of all of these games that are games that we really loved. And that we hope it's going to be a really awesome game.
Okay, looking forward to it. And the last one, getting back to Nihilumbra, is in the PS Vita the next logical step for a port or an adaptation after the Wii U one?
Absolutely, it's really logical. I mean, if you think about it, the Wii U version with the button and the touching interface, it's the same on Vita. You could port the game on Vita and play it nicely. But right now, it's not in our plans. It doesn't mean that we are not gonna do it. Personally, I would like to, but we are a small team. We need to focus. We cannot handle too many targets at the same time, so we need to work first on Wii U, then on Android. And I'd love to make a beta version, but
There's some Suhei Yoshida around.
maybe I can look for him and, and ask him. No, actually, we talked with someone in Sony, and they seem to like the game. So if we try to make the Vita version, I think that it will be easy. But the problem is our man work. I mean, or manpower. We don't have enough people to be in so many places at the same time. Remember that we're working on Megamagic, and it's a huge game, and we're all the time working on it.
Okay, good luck with both projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you.